implementing their contingency procedures at this time, capturing all relevant data throughout the launch process to be used for further analysis.
This is Launch Director on the Countdown Net. At this point in time, as folks work on completing their witness statements, obviously we're going to need to implement an accident investigation team. Participants in that team will include NASA, Orbital, Mars personnel, and the representative for Orbital, who will be the Orbital interim lead for the accident investigation, will be Richard Straka. So he will direct the activities with regard to all the accident investigation work within Orbital Sciences, and will coordinate with the other parties. He'll also participate in the impounding of the data. As we get through this, we're going to need to impound, again, all the data that's relevant to the activity today. We're going to need to triage that and figure out, how that data gets transferred, how that data is stored and archived. What TMLC, go ahead.
I'd like to make a recommendation that we power down the ground mock and stop telemetry archiving at this time.
Yeah, stand by. Go ahead. You can go ahead and set or stop telemetry log at this time and archive files as required.
Jim, copy. So we're clear to power down the ground mock then as well?
That's an affirm.
From the pad out of the Wallops Flight Facility, where the Antares rocket suffered an accident shortly after liftoff. The launch coming at 5:22 p.m. Central Time, 6:22 p.m. Eastern Time. The orbital teams continuing to assess all the data, which followed a flawless countdown. The team was not tracking any issues. And again, we'll continue to bring you any information as it comes up.
On Countdown 1 again. We would like to proceed with power down of the EGSC running 19020 and retrieve the VIT log files and the UPS log files at this time.
Yeah, copy that. Is there anything that we need to shut down remotely before we shut everything down, lose control? No? Okay. Let's go with that recommendation then.
OPM copies.
you're just joining us, continuing to feed live views from the pad out of the Wallops Flight Facility. Antares rocket suffering a catastrophic anomaly shortly after liftoff, which occurred at 5:22 p.m. Central Time, 6:22 p.m. Eastern, to what was supposed to be the start of Orbital Science's third resupply mission to the International Space Station. This time, the orbital team in their contingency phase, gathering all pertinent data from their consoles as they tracked throughout all the launch operations this evening. And again, we'll continue to bring you updates here as they come available.
All right, this is Launch Director on the Countdown Net. We've confirmed that all personnel have been accounted for. We have no injuries in the operation today. We do have, the Cygnus spacecraft does have classified crypto equipment on the spacecraft, so we do need to maintain the area around the debris in a secure manner. That needs to be done for multiple reasons, obviously accident investigation, as well as the fact that there's potential security equipment involved.
Copy that, Mike. That's correct.
The launch vehicle is in the process of securing our log files, terminating the collection of data, and securing all of the telemetry files from the vehicle today. I would ask that the Mars personnel, if there's any files on their computers, on their servers, for the operation of the ground equipment, to also secure those pieces of equipment and prepare those to be archived and logged.
This is Mission Control Houston, continuing to feed live views from Wallops Flight Facility, the launch pad from where Antares lifted off at 5:22 p.m. Central Time, 6:22 p.m. Eastern, suffering a catastrophic anomaly shortly thereafter.
In our Chandler facility, we have personnel in our Dulles facility, and we have personnel in New Church who were passive participants in the operation today. I would ask, I believe all the telemetry that's piped to those facilities is originally archived and stored here. So I don't believe there's any original data that those personnel have that were piped in via computer system. But we do ask that those personnel, any notes they took during the activity today, any other records that they took should be secured and should be forwarded to our mission assurance person, Kent Holter, who will ultimately be responsible for cataloging and archiving and working with the Accident Investigation Board to put that equipment or to put all that information into a central location where the AIB team can have access to it.
This is Dallas, Mission Director on Countdown 1. Copy all. Wilco. This is Mission Control Houston. Again, if you're just joining us, some live views from the Wallops Flight Facility, the pad, where Antares launched at 5:22 p.m. Central Time, 6:22 p.m. Eastern, then suffering an accident shortly after liftoff. Orbital declaring a mishap. Currently working to secure the area and all of the data from their consoles as they collected telemetry from the vehicle to use in coming investigations. The launch director confirming no personnel unaccounted for, so no injuries. The team continuing to secure both the vehicle site and their data. We will continue to bring you updates here on the air and on our website at nasa.gov/orbital as they become available.
No personnel involved.
OFI, right now the FAA is assessing whether the NTSB will be involved. So until we know that they will not be involved, we just need to make sure that we don't nobody interviews personnel, because the NTSB will have the first right for interview.
Okay, copy that. So everyone needs to be aware that we do have regulatory concerns that we need to address with regard to this failure investigation. And there's a hierarchy with regard to the organizations that have authority over this type of event. So I think at first the FAA and NTSB will have the opportunity to assess their level of participation in the Accident Investigation Board. We'll need to convene the AIB and ultimately the responsibility for working closely with those regulatory agencies and determining a plan or a schedule for any interviews or data reviews will need to come through the AIB.
This is Mission Control Houston, continuing to show you live views from the Wallops Flight Facility out in Virginia, where the Antares rocket suffered an anomaly shortly after liftoff, which occurred at 5:22 p.m. Central Time, 6:22 p.m. Eastern Time. The orbital launch conductor confirming no injuries, all personnel accounted for. Orbital currently in its contingency operations, working to secure both the site around the launch pad and all of the data that was tracking telemetry from the vehicle during all of tonight's launch preparations. And as mentioned, we'll continue to bring any relevant information to you as it becomes available. It can also be found by going onto our website at www.nasa.gov/orbital.